Hi, everybody,
Hi.
and welcome to Interesting Boiled as Fuck. And I
We're
think
not even
I want
saying AF today because
to.
this
We're
is like
not.
as fuck. I want to hear every letter in that word
Yes,
today.
yes, and so I think I want to apologize in advance for getting so angry because
No, fuck it. What did we
this,
say last week? Fuck
fuck
politeness.
politeness. Yes, that's true. Fuck politeness, but I think the concept is that a lot of people want us to be angry, but you know, some people really don't have a thought process about what different people's roles in societies are. And we are constantly relitigating people's place, and that's not fair. And
Well, we're relitigating many people's place, but never one particular group. And
yes,
for these articles and these conversations to be coming from that particular group, I'm just getting real fucking done of defending my existence as a woman.
right. And I
My
and I
place
would
in the world.
and I would assume that this is the same for a lot of different marginalized and disadvantaged groups.
Absolutely.
Um, and what we are talking about today
Let's
is
ruin it.
let's do it. Is a treatise or a criticism of the past New York Times podcast
Filth.
slash article or whatever format they decided about bringing two people onto a podcast to talk about women. And I find it very women in the workplace. And what I find and why this was highlighted to me or why it was highlighted and it was a big I think it was pretty big in like the left-leaning circles of the internet. Was this article like the article or podcast whatever that they posted was changed the title was changed 3 times because
3
of the
times.
backlash. 3 times. The first time was did women ruin the workplace? Number 1. Number 2 was did feminine vices did female liberalism ruin the workplace? 3. Did female vices ruin the workplace? And you're like, "Hey, New York Times, if you have to change this title 3 fucking times, maybe pull this or think about it more." So, the concept was like he brought, I forget his name and I still didn't look it up. So, whatevs, you can look it
Fuck
up
'em.
or you can email me about it because he's bringing some really weird people on his podcast in the sense of like, which to a certain degree, you're trying to give quote unquote both sides, which I hate that argument about both sides. People that hate other people shouldn't have airtime.
Nope.
That's just what it is. And he brought two women. The one was Helen Andrews, who wrote an essay and a book called The Great Feminization, number 1. And the second one was The Dignity of Dependence by Dignity of Dependence, a feminist manifesto by Leah Libiscus Sargent. I think that's how you say her middle name, but Leah Sargent. So Helen and Leah. And they were both, their thought processes, the way we define feminism is antiquated and we should be rethinking what that means. Now, Helen comes at it from a very conservative thought process about a patriarchal system that should stay the way it is. And I think that's what she does not that's why I think her argument is in bad faith because she's defending the system as it is and she goes women have no place here because of how they are. And I
Which
think
is which is like so interesting because you wouldn't even have the fucking platform you're on or the voice that you're using to say this trash because you're a woman in that particular setting. So fuck off. And what I don't know what is to me, if it's worse or better, she may not actually even believe this. She might actually just be trying to get a rise, like she's getting out of me
potentially
right now. But I don't know if that's better Like, what's worse? That she actually fucking believes that, or that she just wants to get a rise out of people and says it and doesn't actually believe it? I don't know which one's worse. Both of
I
them can
think
get fucked.
I think both of them can get fucked. And I think, very honestly, the way she write and I saw just a clip of the podcast. She's extremely defensive. She does not There's a difference between having a theory and the way that she kind of talks about it is she doesn't think of it as a theory, because there could be a theory around females in the workplace and how they shifted the dynamics of it, because that is accurate. There's a lot of studies going, women have shifted the way the workplace is. What her thought process is that's bad, and the way women have shifted it is bad. Compared to what? Like, that's and I think she conflates gender and sex. Gender is a construct. Gender is a
Yes.
construct. Women have always been part of the workplace, you idiot.
Always. Who
This
took
is
over when all the men were shipped off to war?
exact and women have always been the farmers. Women have always
Always.
and so what she is, the way she's thinking about it is she goes, I'm taking from the 50s on and thinking about white collar jobs and thinking about corporate America setting. And she is thinking that there are certain virtues that, like, canceling is inherently feminine, which is not true. I think I've seen mostly people canceling people. I find it interesting that people don't realize cancellation and accountability are the same. Also, nobody's really been canceled. All right.
Yeah.
So I think we need to, I think, honestly, more minorities have been canceled than white men.
Yeah. Of course.
And it's never been like Louis C.K. is still out there. Like, there are so, Epstein was given, free reign. Like, he got arrested first and then he got like
everyone on his list is still around doing just
exactly.
fine. Fuck you.
And if you do open up the essay by Helen Andrews, she starts with Larry Summers, which I find womp womp. Which, if you're looking at it, Larry Summers, is it Summers or Sumners? I don't know why I want to add an N in there.
I think it's Summers.
Yeah. And so he, he's in there because he tried to have a relationship with a mentee. And he asked Jeffrey Epstein about it.
Oh yeah, and he's owned up to, he came out with his own statement that he owned up to everything.
Exactly. And so responsibility for doing something bad isn't because it's feminine. It's because of male violence. Males have always been in power and therefore hurt people that are less powerful than them, which happens to be women and other minority groups. I would think, and I think that if it were reversed, we would be having the same conversation. The second the power imbalance, and that could be men or women, the power imbalance shifts, and usually there's some bad actors that'll be like, I'm going to take advantage of this. The problem, and go ahead.
I was just going to say, the misconception there is that the power has ever shifted from men.
Yes.
Like, the narrative is being built that they're no longer the majority. They're bull fucking shit. They're not. Like, they're still systematically running all of this stuff that keeps other people down. They're playing the system to keep themselves where they are, instead of, I don't know, thinking about it for a fucking second and bringing everybody in with them, as opposed to creating this narrative that's like, oh, well, male loneliness, and we're all so, everyone's taking over, like, I'm lonely because everyone's taking my stuff. Like, fuck off. You're still in the majority and men are mostly still in power. Like, we're just asking for a goddamn seat at the table. We're not asking for all of it.
And I find
we're not.
Yeah, we're not. And I think men, and she also makes a comment about meritocracy, that we should be hiring people. I'm like, yeah, then do it, because males would not. Males are usually mid-tier because they've been in a system where they've been, you know, put up all the time and nobody gives a shit. Cause I mean, I've never seen incompetence sometimes as like some males that have gone
Oh,
unchecked,
come on.
right? And I think that's something, and that's why I find her argument in bad faith, because
Yeah.
she also just says like that women suck and then men don't. And I'm like,
Which
you don't even talk about male violence. You don't talk about the fact that women are the victims of all these crimes, and it's men that perpetrate them. Um, you don't talk about that sexual discrimination is an actual thing. She basically wants to take away mechanisms for people to say, I'm uncomfortable. I don't like what's going on. And,
how
and
much
you're
money?
like,
I'm not even gonna say it.
yeah, exactly. Like, sort of to a certain degree, like the HR lady shouldn't be speaking. And you're like, the HR lady is annoying because her focus is not the person, it's the company. That's why
Right.
HR sucks. And I think
Right.
you forget it's about the system that's in place, right? And I think,
Yep.
you know, if you see the external world right now, we are reshifting back to too many men in power and not enough women. And we're not saying it's the difference between equality and equity.
Yep.
Equality doesn't, but equity is about everybody having the fairest shot possible, men
Yeah.
and women. And I think that's to Leia's credit. And I haven't read her, like I just read a couple of articles about it. But her concept is that the definition of feminism today and liberal feminism is that women need to be hyper independent. And the concept is, and I'm distilling this into like very small,
Mhm.
is that it's okay to ask for help. And it's a Catholic view. And it's a Catholic view. And I put this in quotes because like that's the way they're presenting itself. It's presenting itself. And I have to say, to her credit, in the clips that I've seen, does push back on Helen's concept of a lot of the things that she says. Because I think Sargent's argument is saying maybe feminism was too much of an overreaction, and we need to be thinking about how our place in the world is vis-a-vis everybody else, which again I think is a much more Western concept, because in the
Mhm.
rest of the world we have in the rest of the world there's a very different view of what independence means. So I think
So
that's one of the things that I appreciated about her argument, not necessarily that I would agree with everything.
yeah, and I will caveat this discussion that Linda did a whole lot more research than I did, because I got 2 paragraphs into this article, and it was, we talked about this in the last couple episodes. It was not good for my mental health. Like, I'm shocked that we're covering this, that I'm here today willingly talking about this, because some of it I just have to get off my chest. Like, I'm just so fucking done with this bullshit. Like, we've come so far. Like, to have women now trying to chop us down is infuriating to me. So I had to stop, because I was like, of course I have opinions on this. This is not shocking. But um I just couldn't finish it. I just couldn't finish it. Instead, I went and I canceled my New York Times subscription over it. I really did. And it wasn't just that. It was that one, and then like a week later they came out with that fucking, using Jeffrey Epstein and that horrific case to talk about how sad you are to mourn the loss of like good New York City nightlife. Fuck you. Fuck you. The fact that these articles are being allowed to be written, it, like, you've lost your credibility with me. Like, you can ask Linda. I haven't played Wordle in weeks because I even gave up my game subscription. Like, I'm so fucking pissed. And yes, it's exhausting um to not shop or subscribe to things because of political things that are happening. But like, hitting him in the wallet is the only place that makes a difference, because of this fucking construct that has been put together by men. So that's how I feel like I'm doing my part. But I literally couldn't even make it through this, because the blatant hypocrisy, and the blatant hypocrisy that people get away with in general today is what infuriates me so much about many things. But the hypocrisy of a woman going on one of the world's biggest platforms to say feminism is bad and women shouldn't be as power be coming into power is so fucking hypocritical, because you wouldn't be able to say that if it weren't for the women before you. And how dare you stand on their shoulders to say that? And listen, I'm all about people having different opinions from me. We just had an entire episode about disagreements and how we've lost the art of disagreeing. This is asinine. Like, this isn't just a disagreement. How dare you is more like, this is fucking, I would leave the, like, if someone at the Thanksgiving table said this, I would have to leave the room, leave the house, even if it was my own house, because, and then I would text whoever's in there being like, please ask them to leave, because you can't even disagree with that. Because I truly don't know how another woman using a powerful platform could come to that conclusion.
And I've said this quote many times, and I don't know if I've heard it or paraphrased it, or kind of, it's kind of that Liz Lemon moment where the way I came up with that was that I read it somewhere, forgot I did, and then said it again later. But I do think that women are the most ardent soldiers of the patriarchy.
Yeah.
And by that I mean they will
We've been
defend.
groomed to be.
Mm-hmm. They tried to they burned women. They burned women
Alive. Sorry,
alive.
I'm clearly not calm
Like,
right now.
so
You're just so calm and cool right now. Like, you're doing so great, girl. Fuck.
because I think the way that I think about it is much more from the concept of the relitigating all of this is interesting, because it brings us back to the concept of what kind of world do we live in and what is our purpose in it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I think that is the true root of most of what is happening. We are, and I think I've told you this before, Elaine, where I think a lot of women our age are going through a very interesting time where they're thinking about their jobs and going, wait, is this my purpose? I don't think it's my purpose. I think it's just a job. And this is creating a very big sense of malaise in a lot of these women. And so they're going, wait, is my purpose to be at home? Is my purpose to be with my kids all the time? Is my purpose to make bread at home? Is my purpose to make fucking cinnamon trust toast crunch from scratch? Whatever bullshit these trad wives are doing, right? Which, good for you, cinnamon toast crunch. But I personally like my chemicals strong on that one.
Yes.
But, and I think this also links to the male loneliness epidemic. Male loneliness, and I'm putting this in quotes because I don't think it's that. I think it's more of a loss of purpose, because men in society were always seen as the breadwinners. And now it's caught up with them that they're not. That's not all they are. They're not, quote unquote, protecting women. They're not, because they never have. Like, I mean, it's not, you're not protecting women. You're just hiding your own incompetence behind that. And I think it's because society has created a system to which that exists, right? I think we are the sum of the sum, is that the expression, the sum of a whole? Like,
Some of all parts.
sum of all parts. Like, these types of things are not just because a man, it's like he's personally at fault. It's because it's a group. And it's exactly like that quote from Mary Poppins, where it's like Sister Suffragette, where she goes, while we love men individually, as a group, they're rather stupid. And I think it's the best because it's so true. Yes. Just like everybody, when you put everybody all together, we like succumb to groupthink. We succumb to all these like societal pressures. And I even see it with my kids. Like, I have a daughter and a son, and I parent them different. Yes, you parent them different because they have different personalities. But like, I'll tend to be like, oh, maybe my daughter's being too sensitive. And I'm like, wait, no. Like, no. She just
Mhm.
needs a different type of approach. It's not because she's a
Of
girl,
course.
right?
Yeah.
But I, as a very ardent feminist, even fall prey to that. And you
Of
have to
course.
go beyond that. And I think that's what this discussion brings out. It brings out the concept that you either stay in your little bucket and go, women's roles are what I think have been defined from the 50s until now, because she doesn't think about history. She doesn't think about how women we're always on the farm, we're in factories, we're in all this stuff. Like
In
women
hospital.
in hospitals, women have always worked. Labor force
Always.
participation was there. At some point in the 40s and the 50s, that's when women started like going to the home. Like we started having nuclear thought process of like women being at home and not going to work, where you started having corporate America, you started having this industrialization of offices and things like that. So she really kind of, I think, forgot that part. And I think, remember, labor protections, a lot of them in the US were pushed by women. A lot of,
Yep.
and is that a virtue or a vice? Because most men are the ones who are they're teamsters, they're the labor union presidents. Is that a feminine virtue? I think so. And you didn't think of it that way. You just selectively picked out an argument. Because I think why I'm a lot calmer about it after reading it is because her theory is so weak.
Yeah. Well, and it sounds like she doesn't even kind of have her own thoughts in terms of, I'll give this as an example. I have zero issue if you as a woman want to be a stay-at-home mom and not work, or like not even be a mom and just stay home, like be unemployed. I don't give a fuck. Like you do you, girl. Like truly, like I have no issue with that. What I take issue with is believing that all women, that their only role is to stay home and have children and have dinner waiting on the table. That's what I take issue with. I have zero issue with women who decide to do that. The issue is you telling me that that's my only purpose. That's the issue I have. And it sounds like this woman doesn't even come with her own thoughts, of what women's purpose is. So, which is why I'm like, I come back to this. Like, is she just saying this to get a rise? Is she just saying this to create conversation to get the clicks, which doesn't make it better? Like, that doesn't make me feel better about any of it. Because then I'm like, this is just an empty fucking thing that you said that is infuriating on a platform you wouldn't have without the women before us. And listen, we didn't do it alone. Men had to stand up and stand next to us and help put us on their shoulders to make this happen because they had the power. That's not what we're saying either. But truly, like, how fucking dare you sit on their shoulders and say this type of shit and chopping them down at the knees?
Yeah, I think that's why I kind of don't take her seriously,
Yeah.
because it's such a weak argument. It's
Yeah.
so it's like there's so many holes in it that it feels like she doesn't even believe herself. Like and she goes like the circular logic of it, going, well, female, professions are getting better, like they're getting more feminine, they're getting like there's more, and she's like, my problem is with the law that, like, we're changing
Like,
the
what does
law.
she even mean by that? Like, what does she even mean? And then she doesn't say it. And
It's
then
about
if she did say
discrimination.
it, she what?
It's about discrimination, essentially. It's essentially for
Yeah.
her that men are the victims of women's threats or, allegations against them about a toxic culture, about a broy culture, about, maybe don't talk in terms about sex at work,
Yeah.
right?
Not
I
the
think,
time or place.
yeah,
Uh,
it's not, you know what I mean? So I think her concept is, she's saying the great feminization of stuff, but then you're like, even some men are uncomfortable when men bring up bullshit crap.
yeah, but because of the climate and environment that they've created, some of these more broy, toxic men, because of that, even men who are uncomfortable feel uncomfortable reporting it or saying, hey, I'm uncomfortable. So
Yep.
how, like, how are we the fucking problem? I just don't get, I just
Yeah,
don't understand.
and I think this
Just
goes back to our
ridiculous.
2 previous, documentaries, right? The concept of having these quote unquote brilliant men that invade our culture and like
Yes.
move and think about the good men and think about the good women who had great ideas, but then were either like their ideas were stolen, their ideas were hidden, their ideas were, dismissed because of so many things because they didn't have the like brilliant asshole part. And like and I've always thought about this. I'm like, why is the asshole type of personality our like elite thing to see? Like
Well,
where
I
in
also,
history did we get to the part where the asshole was kind of like revered as like the inventor and the person pushing the envelope when they're just fucking mean and
yeah, and
horrible.
I don't know the answer to that, but what I do think is in recent times, I think it's getting perpetuated because first of all, there's an onslaught of it. And like I just said, it's fucking exhausting, which is the whole goal, right? Is to exhaust us, to make us just be like, fuck it, I'm over it. Like, I'm not going to worry about this anymore. But we also live in a world where our attention span has been intentionally made shorter. And we are a society obsessed with, and this is certainly more like in America, right? Because like that's where we live and this is the experience. I know I can't truly speak for other countries or other areas of the world, but for us here, I just feel like we're so obsessed with reality TV and like funny things on television that people almost prefer our politics and all of this to also be kind of like reality TV. So they want the assholes and the media wants the assholes because the assholes sell. Like they never make more money than when people are saying absolutely batshit things on television that they get to then perpetuate and get the clicks and get, so like I think there's this whole big societal thing where it's like I don't know that I can answer the root of your question, but I think it's getting so much worse because we live in this world that loves this, like everybody loves the asshole on reality TV because you're like, I can't believe someone would act like that, this is fucking hilarious. And it's like, but then you put those people in charge and it has real fucking consequences. There's no fucking consequence on Vanderpump Rules or the Kardashians or what. Like, yes, obviously people can get hurt, but like there's no overall implications of things like that. But like you get people like that in positions of power where they can suppress minorities and people who don't look like them or create policies and laws that will physically kill people. We have a fucking problem. Like we have a real fucking problem.
Yeah, and and again, I don't have the answer to that question either or that.
It's a great question though.
I just I'm just wondering where how we got here. Like how
Yeah.
we got to all this
We didn't get
bullshit.
here with women in power, I'll tell you that much, because we've never
No.
been in power. Our country has
No.
shown twice over we don't want a female president. Not even to
Yeah.
give her a shot. Like
Yeah.
won't even give us a shot. Give us a
And
fucking shot. We've gone 250 years to this point. Let's try something different for fuck's sake.
yeah, but I
And I'm not
think
saying
that's
women can get sorry, I'm like on a
no, do
fucking,
it. Do it.
but like I'm not saying women can't become could be bad leaders. Women, like I'm not saying all women must be empowered. Like that's not what I'm saying. But like we have the power to change it. Why not give us a shot? She's talking about the fact that we've ruined the workplace. We've never been in charge of the workplace. What the fuck are you talking about? We've never
Mhm.
been in charge ever. The
Yep.
only place that people let us be in charge is in the fucking household. And the idea that you wouldn't trust a woman who runs your fucking household to run other things is absolutely fucking crazy. It's absolutely fucking crazy. I watched for the 2024 presidential election. I wish I could remember off the top of my head who it was who was going around in Atlanta, Georgia into black communities and they were asking black men specifically. It might have been Don Lemon who was doing this, but I'll look it up. But it was so fascinating to watch this person ask the question, who are you voting for? And a lot of them were either like, I'm not voting, but they were seriously questioning voting for a Black woman. And the person interviewing was like, why? And a lot of them like talked themselves around into this thing where all of a sudden they're like, oh, wait a minute. I've only ever been raised in places that are run by Black women. Why the fuck would I not give the same consideration to the most powerful seat in our country? Like, it was shocking how many of these men were like, no, I just can't bring myself to do it yet. And you're
Yeah.
like, but
they,
so many of them, even without a leading question, were like, oh shit, wait a minute.
but
I've
they
only
did.
ever lived in places
Yeah.
run by
But in
Black
the
women.
in the end, Black men did vote for her.
You're
That's
fucking right, they did. You're absolutely
and
fucking right.
and I think that was another like setup
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
I think people were saying, men, weren't, and I'm like, and even some black people that I knew were like talking about that. They're like, they would never vote for a woman, and they did. They actually did vote for
Well, yeah, when it came down to the two choices, I think a lot of them were like, well, maybe I shouldn't sit
maybe I
this
should.
one out. And I don't bring up that example because that's certainly not a problem, like just within the Black community at
Oh yeah.
all. It was
Like
just such a fascinating thing to
white
hear.
women voted more for they didn't vote for both elections. They voted more, it depends on the
Yep.
age bracket, but they voted more for the
It
man
was
than
like
the woman.
suburban white women. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. But it was just, yeah, it was just crazy to not crazy. It was just so interesting to finally hear them talk themselves even into that, where it's like
Yep.
every home we've all lived in, if you had a mother figure or a grandmother figure, the household was run by a woman.
Yep.
So why is there this question that we can't run things? We've never been in charge outside of the household.
And
So
I
why do
think,
you fucking say this? I just can't wrap my head around
yeah,
it
yeah,
clearly.
and I think, my argument here, and I think we have never thought about it this way, because what if men's virtues or vices is what ruined the workplace in the first place, by having women and I've noticed that when women become more like men, and again, caveating the fact that gender is a construct and male and female behaviors are learned,
Yep.
all of them are learned. I think there's a big argument scientifically to say most of our gender norms are learned. That women in environments, life finds a way, right? Like women, like people will adapt. We are people that want to adapt no matter what to our system. And what has happened in the American workplace or in like corporates, that women are becoming more like men as leaders. And maybe that's our problem. Maybe that's the problem. And I think she's looking at it, but like the opposite way. I think
Yeah.
we're seeing a lot more women acting like men in the workplace because it gets them to go higher and higher and higher because of their ambitions, which they totally have the right to do whatever they want. But let's think about the concept of maybe it's the way we've run the workplace with only men in it
Yep.
that we need to relitigate. Maybe
Yes.
the way that we've done it now is wrong because we've become more like men. Because I think most policies more protect the perpetrator than the victim in a workplace.
1000%.
And usually the perpetrators are men.
Yeah.
Overwhelmingly, right? So I
Louder for the
think,
people in the back.
and
Or
so
on this fucking podcast.
yes,
Not
whoever,
ours.
Helen Andrews, if you're here, I
Her.
would,
Yeah.
her, specifically her. And I think, and she talks about a lot of feminine vices. And I think, we can, start, because I think we could talk about this fucking ever, right? Like we talk about fucking ever. But one of the things that I found interesting about this is that she says that she lists female vices and like like why women are bad. And so one of the big things is like gossiping, ganging up on people. I think she brings up even an example of an editor in the New York Times that like quit I won't name her, but she quit. And this reporter and opinion writer had some very very offensive views. Like it wasn't just, I don't agree with women in the workplace. It's like borderline racist thought processes about, black people not being good enough or something. And one of the examples is that a fellow reporter didn't want to meet with her for coffee. And I'm like, she has, and that was somehow the feminization. I'm like, oh, her putting a boundary of not wanting to talk to somebody who offends her is feminine? Are you fucking kidding me? We always make it such a
Sounds
big
like
deal.
strength to me.
Yeah, we always make it such a like a great thing when men are assertive about not wanting to go some lines, but like when it's women, oh fuck, that's feminine.
Yep.
And the biggest thing that she talks about is gossip. I've mentioned this topic before. And I've said it, I think, on this podcast. One of the biggest things in Yuval Harari's Sapiens, and everybody should read this book because it's wonderful, is he talks about how humans went from the center of the fucking, you know, evolutionary ladder, not evolutionary ladder, like the
Food chain.
predator ladder, the food
Yeah.
chain. We were in the middle and we went to the top. And you know why? Because we fucking gossiped. We
Yep.
created information cycles and information to go, hey guys, that line's going to be there at 3 o'clock. Maybe don't go there. And we have created this concept that gossip is inherently feminine and that gossip is inherently bad. It's not.
Nope.
It protects us in a way that people don't realize. Like I will say all of the women that have ever said things to me, quote unquote, gossipy, were likely telling me, hey, maybe watch out, don't go over there, that person's not kind, they will blah, et cetera, et cetera. Like it's every time people are talking about that, it's about protecting one another. And we do everybody a solid, and men do it too. Like men
Yes.
do it too. They just do it at golf, and so it's a business conversation.
Yep. And I
And
think gossip can also raise each other up. Corporate America is designed
Mhm.
to keep us from telling each other how much money we make, what our benefits are, what perks we have, because they're afraid that someone else is going to come to them and say, well, even if you don't say, I talked to so and so, but I know I'm doing the same or an equal job or a similar job, and I'm not getting paid nearly as much. And so that type of gossip, especially as women, where we are paid a fraction, that gap is closing, but there is still a pay gap between men and women. Women should be telling each other how much money they make so that they can raise other women up with them. Period. That, and if they want to call that gossip, I don't fucking care. So I agree, it's about protecting each other, but it's also about bringing all rising tides, right?
Yeah, rising
So
tides
yes,
lift all boats. All
yes,
boats. All
yes.
boats. It's not a
Yeah,
pie that
it's
shrinks.
not just women.
We're creating the fucking pie, you idiots, and it's all of it is an imagined reality. All of it.
There
All
she
of it.
goes. Get
All
it,
of
girl.
it. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna time it. Like however long we've been talking, I got angry now.
I know. I'm so proud of you because I was half cocked like coming into this. I'm like fucking, you know. I was amped after the doc is in. Like we kind of started prefacing some of this, and it just, whew, man,
Yeah,
I'm exhausted.
why can't we just all get along? I need a drink after this, man. Like I
Yeah,
need
can we? I'm gonna open up some wine after this because
stiff drink. I think I have a bottle of wine open.
it's Thanksgiving week. Like fuck
Fuck it.
this.
I'm gonna like go down, like clean up my work email and like start,
Yeah, I'm gonna
closing
pour
down
something
shop.
after I get back from the grocery store for a quick little. Just got one Thanksgiving dish to make. And
Nice.
I'm
Nice.
gonna get this weekend. I'm gonna get this week started. And
As
I'm gonna cheers to you, Linda, my fellow woman, who I
same to
love
you.
and want and support, and only want to see you rise and be the woman you want to be. I'm not going to tell you what that is because that's your business, but don't. Oof, I love you. I'm thankful. I'm thankful for you this Thanksgiving season, and that you are a woman who I know lifts other women, especially I feel it all the time. And so I'm very thankful for that. And we need more of this amongst
Yes.
women, because
Yes.
when one woman succeeds, we all fucking succeed.
We all fucking succeed. And I will say this. I'm thankful for you as well. Get ready for a corny as fuck message tomorrow. Just be ready. Just be like,
Yay!
and just know that Linda cried while she was typing it up, because
If
as
it's
we all,
not in all caps, I'm going to be very disappointed.
there's
because
gonna be all caps in there. It's not gonna be fully all caps, because I'm probably gonna like rise up to it, because this year has been tough for me, and Elaine has been oh fuck. Sorry. I'm trying not to cry. Steadfast heart. I can't do it. All right, we're gonna stop.
I love you.
Love you too. Boops, farts, pee, poop. Just I can't cry in front of all of us. I can't do that.
Why is it too feminine?
It's too feminine. Damn it! We're ruining the workplace, Elaine.
We'll burn it to the fucking ground.
Burn it to the
what you can't see is I'm now holding my little President Loki from the Loki series.
Yes.
And I also have a little picture where you can like write your own stuff. And I have written, I'm going to burn this place to the fucking ground, because I'm just obsessed when Loki says that. I'm just going to burn this place to the fucking ground.
Burn it to the ground. And still my favorite meme is from Mean Girls that says, "Get in, loser. We're going to go ruin the workplace." And so please, losers, come all with us and ruin the workplace for the better. Because sometimes, sometimes destroying things makes way for better things and more equitable, inclusive places. What a concept, everybody.
Yes, we do have our next Doc is in chosen.
Yes.
Right? Do you want me to talk about that?
Yes, please. And we already even, I think, have our other episode. Like we were on a roll. Like we're like, this is how we're doing this. It was great. I was very proud of us.
Yeah. So as a nice little cleanser, we're also entering the holiday season, so we don't want to keep it all dark. The
depths of the sea dark.
Depths of the sea. We're going in the opposite direction. Woo! Carbon fiber is recommended.
Even the standard, as it were.
Yes. So to tie a couple of our last episodes together, we are going from the depths of the ocean with a bunch of dickhead men out into outer space with a woman who is not just empowering, but a fucking hero of mine. We are going to watch the documentary that just came out this year called Sally, about Sally Ride. And I have actually not watched this yet. So I'm excited for a brand new watch. I know I'm going to cry. So we are going to watch an empowering female, just badass heroine for our next Doc is in. We will be watching Sally, and I believe in the US it's available on Hulu and Disney Plus.
Yep, that's what I saw. So, and then next episode we'll tell you what our next episode is. So like that we don't have, but it's going to be a doozy, as it were, on that. And, as always, I think we're open for discussion, but also don't be a dick about it. Like, just
don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. Just, people have their places in the world, and people are allowed to choose what they fucking want to do. And that's okay. And that's it. And it was a weak argument in my view, but it's good because it got us to a place where we lifted other women up, and women got really angry about this, and some men too. So, that was good.
Yeah, I'm sweating. I'm legitimately sweating.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna have to take my sweater off because I'm hot. I'm very hot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And the wine will definitely bring, will chill you out.
It's all right. I'm gonna put like some bad reality TV on now that we've talked about it. Although my go to is The Traitors, which is like the
which
greatest
I'm
competition
which
show
I'm gonna
ever.
start watching.
Ugh, it's like pure trash, but God, it's gold. Or we're in the holiday season, so maybe I'll throw on like a calming holiday classic. But happy Thanksgiving to all those who celebrate in the
Happy
U.S. or
happy
elsewhere.
thanks Happy Thanksgiving. Have one thing you're grateful for at least on Thursday and Friday that is not Black Friday deal. Um,
Yes,
as we are but a speck on a speck, and we better make our lives matter for others.
that's right.
And with that, Elaine, take us out.
Whew, stay calm, stay interesting.